This is our Metaphysics Part 3. Welcome to the states of consciousness. Yeah, if you want the papers, I basically create the papers to kind of keep us from getting lost, so you have material to work on in between classes, and so you have something to always refer back to. It's always good to take your own notes, because I may perceive something in a different way than you do, and it's about your own perception. So through this, we are going to cover our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our spiritual consciousness or super consciousness. And after a while, after you've said consciousness so many times, it becomes a tongue twister. So when we're looking at consciousness, in the first phase, we will combine all three aspects. So when we're referring to consciousness, we're referring to what you are consciously aware of, what is the sum total of your subconscious mind, and what your spiritual consciousness is. So when we say consciousness, that is what we're talking about. We're going to formulate it a lot of times into one. A lot of people use different terms, and you're going to hear cosmic consciousness, universal consciousness, many different states of consciousness itself. So one of the things that we start with here is looking at how these are all a combination of. So it's a combination of ideas and thoughts, emotions, sensations, and these are this is knowledge that makes up your consciousness. Okay? Now, when we are conscious of something, this is all forms of consciousness that we are aware of. This is knowledge that is known. But when we move to the subconscious mind, we are also looking at the subconscious mind contains every memory you have. So first it's conscious, and then it goes into the subconscious mind.
What's the aspect of deja vu?
Yes. This is also takes you back to when we refer to ancestral memory. Now, what ancestral memory is, and it can be also past life memory, but sometimes with the ancestral, it might not necessarily, it's not yours, but it comes from the bloodline itself. So there may be issues that you are dealing with that do not belong to you, but you carry that memory, especially if you're an entity that has come over and over again within the same bloodline. And some of us have chosen the same bloodline over and over again, so that memory is very deep-seated in us. So we've gone from the conscious to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious is the sum total of all memory, of all thought, and all feeling. Okay?
Past, present,
and future.
We already know the outcomes of things that will happen. We're just tapping into time now.
Now, the other thing you will start hearing more about is evolutional consciousness. Now, evolutional consciousness is actually going to be in its own separate class because it is that vast. We've already covered a bit of the information about it, but it is happening as we speak. It is above you, below you, all around you. It is within the universe itself, but it's also a place that the masters who have come before us have been living demonstrations of. And so, being an old Star Trek-y girl here, it is where very few of mankind has gone before. Truly.
Where no man has ventured.
And, well, but it's true. We've already had demonstrated beings here. They've demonstrated. They've taught from Pacific planes in the universe, of course. but we'll get more into that later. So what takes place is what is inner conscious mind goes into our subconscious mind. Hence, we start creating, we can create behavior patterns for this, because remember, it's all feeling, it's all thought, it's all of our experiences that are being recorded. Now, somewhere along the way, it did become a bit confusing, because the original job of the subconscious mind was so that the superconscious could press upon the subconscious mind. And the job of the subconscious was to bring in the information to make us consciously aware. The superconscious mind contacts the subconscious and the conscious mind. And therefore we bring it into the here and now in our present consciousness. So everything that you have ever thought, ever said, every idea that you feel is an original idea, it's already there because you have already thought it. Is that making sense to you? Then at times we've had traumatic experiences, and if you notice, people do have the tendency to hold on to those traumatic negative experiences, and very few hold on to the positive. So within the subconscious mind, you have positive thought and you have negative thought. Now, some of the beliefs you have and memories that you have, some of them are true and some of them are false, depending upon your perception of the time of the memory and what state you were in. Now, I'm going to go, this is an analogy that my sister used. Of course, it was used in a different context, and we've used it before in class. But you take a very large fish tank, and you section off the fish tank, and you only allow the little fishies to swim in a certain location. Now, over a period of time, the little fishies go in a pattern over and over and over again. Well, all of a sudden, the mighty hand comes down and pulls out all the dividers. But the little fishies aren't consciously aware that the veil has been lifted. And so the little fishy will continue to swim in the pattern that it was taught to swim in.
That's a good analogy, though.
No, but it's very true.
It is true.
Look at how we have it work. We're all in cubicles.
Mm-hmm.
How do people pace?
Back and forth within their cubicle, within their little zone.
How many people do you see step out of their cubicle and pace anymore? Not nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Are your cubicles that big?
Our
They're not
cubicles
that
are pretty big. We have full desk, storage, everything.
See, my cubicle?
Some
Ours
no,
is huge.
beyond the cubicle, you realize within that cubicle of consciousness that you are a point.
I've been trying to pop that one.
You are a point in all consciousness. You are a point in all existence.
You have the aspect of tapping into all knowledge.
Very true.
Sorry, didn't mean to interject.
So the job of the subconscious mind is originally to bring in the divine ideas and divine energies. So when you're coming from this aspect, it becomes all things are spiritual. But we have to start reprogramming the mind. We have to clear out all the garbage. We have to clear out the false beliefs. We have to clear out the way we have been using our thoughts. So once we go from that point, it's back to learning to master your thoughts. Your thoughts have power. The feelings and emotion behind it have power. The words you use and the thoughts behind them and the emotions behind them are power. This is bringing it all things into manifestation.
You know how that's said, you know, to know, to dare, to do, to keep silent.
But we can't keep silent anymore. We can't keep secrecy. One of the things that we have to choose, we have a choice. We have free will. Now we can choose to evolve, or we can choose to stay right where we're at.
I really want your program. I'm sorry, Magpie, I can't help it. That one?
I'll show you later. Shut up.
Anyway,
Love you.
so getting back to that point there is we've got to become conscious. We've got to instill it in the heart. We've got to instill it in the mind. Point blank.
Let it flow through the soul.
Well, that's where the soul is. It's in the heart.